they always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for the Real Sports Talk, along with Justin for Franchise Sports Talk. Justin, crazy night in baseball tonight, man.
Yes, man. This is going to be the greatest MLB trade deadline we have ever seen. I mean, we've just seen so many trades, Ichiro Suzuki, and so many surprising trades, and the trade deadline is not even here, and yet we're still getting these out-of-the-air trades, man. It's just been a great couple of days in baseball.
Yeah, the Ichiro thing came out of nowhere. We heard that Hanley Ramirez, that the Dodgers even were interested in him. But this one, usually when you hear, when a player this big is traded, you hear a lot of rumors leading up to it of essentially who's going to be in the deal, how much money is going to be taken on in the contract, and we didn't hear that. This one just kind of came out of nowhere here at 3 a.m. in the morning, and it shows how little of a life me and you have, though we're still up talking about it. But anyway, Hanley Ramirez has been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for, along with Randy Cho, a relief pitcher, for Nathan Eovaldi, a minor leaguer, and they'll also get one other unnamed minor leaguer. That's from Tim Brown of Yahoo Sports. The minor leaguer, apparently, this is from MLB Trade Rumors, and John Palmarosi saying Scott McGow is the minor leaguer. Essentially, the Dodgers are going to pick up the entire contract that Hanley Ramirez has left. He'll move back to shortstop. I don't know what happens to D. Gordon in the future, but when you get a guy like Hanley Ramirez, it really doesn't matter. I think that Hanley Ramirez needed a change of scenery, and I think going to a bigger market will actually help him. I think he almost got bored in Miami.
I wouldn't say he got... Well, they just said he really needed to go. I don't know where this is coming out of, because I really have not been paying a lot of attention to Miami Marlins baseball nowadays. But apparently they said he had to go, and now it turns over that the team is now putting the future and the present and the future in the hands of Giancarlo Stanton and Jose Reyes. But going back to what you said about D. Gordon, what's going to happen with D. Gordon now that Hanley Ramirez is going to be taking over the shortstop role? There could be a possible, I'm just spitballing ideas here, D. Gordon is on the 15-day DL. They cannot trade him while he's on the DL. I will probably put him as a backup, but that's the best. They're not going to send him down. He's too good. This guy plays great defense. This guy has been named MVP of a week a couple of times. This guy plays great baseball, but he is not. He's worth. He can play in the outfield as well. So
they could try and move him in the outfield. He's still young. He's fast. They maybe look at third base. I can guarantee you though, Hanley Ramirez was not happy at third base playing for the Miami Marlins, and I don't know why. Because when you get the chance to have a guy like Jose Reyes join your team, then you do whatever you have to do because you're finally getting a chance to win. Things just did not work out for the Miami Marlins, and I noticed this the last few years. Hanley Ramirez did not seem like he was giving 100% effort with the Miami Marlins. I think it all goes back to when he kicked that foul ball all the way back to Florida Marlins days when Freddie Gonzalez was the manager. And since then, I mean, Hanley Ramirez a while ago was a guy that you're talking about hitting 330 home runs. He looked like he was going to be a great player. And the last few years have been huge disappointments, last year especially, but this year he hasn't been necessarily great. I think going to the Los Angeles Dodgers, he has a big second half, and this is a move that, I mean, the Dodgers, I know they took on his contract, but this ownership for the Dodgers seems like they just... Now, especially tonight, knowing that they're probably not going to get Cole Hamels, or they're for sure not going to get Cole Hamels, tonight, knowing that, they had the money now to go out and go try and get a guy like Hanley Ramirez. They picked up his whole contract, they get a reliever, and essentially they gave up nothing to get Hanley Ramirez. Basically, this is the same as like a waiver type deal where you just take on the whole contract and don't give up anything.
I mean, like they said, they had to get rid of him, so I guess the easy way out was to get a nobody, which probably will end up being traded in another trade in the future for the Dodgers, but they said they had to go, and the Dodgers said they'll pick up the rest of his contract, and I guess that's just what they had to do. Hanley Ramirez so far this year, he has 14 home runs, 48 RBIs, and he's batting .246. I can see a bounce back in the second half for him right now. Going to the Dodgers, he's obviously going to be named shortstop. Luis Cruz is currently the shortstop. He's partnering up with Jerry Harrison Jr., but I think he's going to have a decent career out there in Dodgers. There could probably be an extension in hand for him if he does good with the Dodgers. We'll just see. We'll just have to wait and see.
John Heyman has confirmed on Twitter as this video is being made that Scott McGough is the other player that will be sending this deal to Miami. But, I mean, basically, just rough go over for Miami. They tried to load up in the offseason, and it just kind of is blown up in their face, I guess you would say, because it's not that anything's gone horrible, but it just hasn't worked out as well as they thought.
This is a big loss for this Miami Marlins team, though.
Yeah, and I understand that they're clearing the payroll, but I would have rather seen them take on some of the money of Hanley's contract and go get a better prospect. I mean, I don't know. They have a good farm system. They always do. They have a lot of young talent on that team. I would even look for the Marlins to maybe trade Logan Morrison next. We'll see. Justin, though, we're going to move on to the Wandy Rodriguez, moving on to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He got traded there earlier tonight. I guess you would say it's yesterday at this point. But he got traded there. Justin knows a lot about these prospects, a lot more than I do, because I'm not a huge prospect guy. Justin, tell us about these two prospects that the Pirates got in return for Wandy, and then I'll explain a little bit more about what Wandy's role will be in Pittsburgh.
Well, Wandy Rodriguez got traded for 3 minor league prospects, and I'm a big prospects type of guy, but I know it's late at night. I'm not going to let you. We're going to try to keep this as short as possible. But they got Rudy Owens, who was an Arizona native. He's currently down at AAA right now. The Houston Astros said they will send the guys down to where they by a level. Robbie Grossman, I know his name has been mispronounced, but it's pronounced Grossman. He will be sent down to AA. I think it's Corpus Christi Hooks. And then Colton Kane. I don't know too much about Colton Kane, but he's going to be going down to the Houston Astros High A level. And then Rudy Owens. This is a guy who, if you look at this guy's film, I said me and Tim have been talking about these prospects. I gave him a lot more insight because he doesn't know a whole lot about the prospects things, but giving him a lot more insight on it. Rudy Owens, if you look at this guy's been compared to Dan Heron, and I'm going to agree with that. This guy has great control. He has a fastball that can get up to the high 90s. I mean, this guy is a monster. So I really like what the Houston Nationals are going to do. I hope they don't rush this guy to the majors, because if you rush him to the majors, he's going to get knocked around a little bit. But you know what? This guy is a great pitcher in the making. When it comes to Robbie Grossman, this guy has been compared to Nick Swisher. He hits for the average, where Nick Swisher hits more home runs. But Robbie Grossman is in first place in stolen bases. This guy has 25% of the runs. He drove in 25% of the runs down in AA. This guy is just another great prospect. What the Houston Nationals are getting.
Yeah,
the Houston Nationals have been. Go ahead, Tim.
I like those two pickups because really, if you look at Wandy Rodriguez, he's a nice middle of the rotation guy, but his deal's up at the end of the year. So basically, you get a guy. From what I've seen, from what you've told me, I think that the pitcher, I forget his name, he projects as a guy that they'll try him out as starter, but I think he could actually do well in the bullpen. And then the hitter also, I think he at the very least, will be a 4th outfielder. As far as what Wandy Rodriguez brings to the Pirates, I think he, at the very least, just adds another arm to a rotation that already has James McDonald, who's been a real good ace this season. A.J. Burnett's had a bounce back year. They have Eric Bedard, who's been inconsistent but has been better since the All-Star break. They have him, and then you plug Wandy Rodriguez. I think he's the number 3 starter. And considering the Pirates are going to probably be in the playoffs, I think that's a pretty solid number 3 starter. You get in Wandy Rodriguez, an ERA under 4 at 3.79 this season. He's been, I believe, 7-9. But you don't look a ton into the record when you're playing for the Houston Astros, because they're just not a very good team. So they move on there. I think the deal works out for both teams. The Astros more in the long term, and the Pirates more in the short term.
Yeah, when you look at the Pittsburgh Pirates pitching rotation, like you said, A.J. Burnett, who is having a complete turnaround season from what he had with the New York Yankees. Coming in, he is now number 1 on the pitching rotation for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Got Eric Bedard, James McDonald, Kevin Correa, and this really brings a lot of questions to the pitching rotation. What are they going to do? They're not going to put Wandy Rodriguez in at number 2. I think the 1-2, A.J. Burnett, Eric Bedard's all right. Then James McDonald, I thought this guy going into the season of spring training, I thought that guy could have been a solid number 2, put Bedard at number 3. But now with Wandy Rodriguez coming into town, what's going to go down with Jeff Carstens and Kevin Correa? Well, I was thinking, put Wandy Rodriguez in at 3, put James McDonald at 4, and then have Kevin Correa down at the 5 hole. Jeff Carstens, this guy, he could possibly be going into the bullpen, or they could probably put him out on a minor league assignment. I know he hasn't played a full season, but you know what? This guy can help out a little bit. But this guy, he's not the guy that can go late in the innings and relief for you. That's mainly like a Jason Greeley, a Brad Lincoln type of role. I can see him coming in at maybe, if a pitcher gets knocked around, you come in like the 4th, 5th, or possibly the 6th inning. But that's just my opinion.
I think he can be a long man. And when Justin was talking about James McDonald, obviously he doesn't mean that he's the 4th best starter, but the way the rotation was set up at the beginning of the year, it's just kind of the order that they have going right now, that you got Burnett and Bedard earlier in the rotation, and then James McDonald, Wandy Rodriguez. They'll figure out the order, I'm sure, but that's a solid pickup on both sides. The final thing we want to get to is Ryan Robert was designated for assignment today by the Arizona Diamondbacks. And what happens when you're designated for assignment is you get 10 days to either be released, accept your assignment to AAA, or be traded, and immediately he was traded. Ryan Roberts isn't a guy that's going to give you a great average, probably closer to a 230s, 240s guy, but he'll give you some pop, and you like that out of your third baseman. I think he is going to play a big bench role for the Tampa Bay Rays, and we've seen them pick up guys like Dan Johnson that go on to have great effects for them, and maybe just one at bat, but I think Ryan Roberts, with Evan Longoria out for who knows how long right now, I think that this is a solid pickup for them.
No doubt. I mean, Ryan Roberts, I thought this was a guy who would be really disappointed. I mean, the Diamondbacks, I don't know what they were thinking in this trade. This team has been big in talks with Steven Drew, and I'll possibly have him go over to the Detroit Lions in a shortstop swap.
The Tigers,
the Tigers over to, sending Drew over to the Tigers for Johnny Peralta. But I just don't understand this trade. Ryan Roberts, he's having a down part of the year. So is Justin Upton, who's been trading it. But the team, that would be silly for the Arizona Diamondbacks to trade Justin Upton. But I'm not really understanding this trade on why the Arizona Diamondbacks designated Ryan Roberts for an assignment. Yes, John McDonald's coming off the disabled list. But you know what? Ryan Roberts is too big of a player, or coming off a great year in 2011. Ryan Wheeler, I guess, is going to be there for quite a while now. This move I don't like the cuss, but this really pissed me off today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's not having a terrible year. He's hitting .250 with 6 home runs. He's not a great fielder. Obviously, John McDonald's a better glove. I don't think that Ryan Roberts is a terrible piece, and I think that the Rays get a great steal here, and a move that's real low risk, high reward. So we'll see what happens overall with the Ryan Roberts move. Again, Cole Hamels extension. Go watch that video. You can check it out on the realsportstalk.wordpress.com. Then Hanley gets traded, Ryan Roberts traded, Ichiro traded last night. Justin, this is going to be a fun trade deadline.
Absolutely, man. We just have to wait and see. There could be more surprises coming.
Check out franchisesportstalk.com. Check out the realsportstalk.wordpress.com. Follow me on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST, and follow Justin at TheJustinGodsey, and we'll catch you guys later.